Yep. All right, we're live and ready, Mr. Mayor.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's a meeting of the Seldovia City Council, Monday, August 26th, 2024. Time is 5:05 p.m. and this is a work session. We have one item on the agenda tonight, and that is the Stormwater Management Plan update and project prioritization. And Liz, if you want to start it off, or if we want to turn it right over.
Sure, I'll just introduce. We have Irene. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your last name. Triletis?
Yeah, Triletis.
Triletis. She's with HDR, who's been doing our stormwater management plan update, and she's here to discuss the priority projects that they have going on and answer any questions. And we'll go ahead and turn it over to her, and she's going to share her screen here.
Okay, we might need I couldn't hear her real well, so we might need to make sure her mic is on and close by.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you bet.
Perfect. I have a little intro and then I'll share my screen. I have a couple different versions of maps we can look at, and just a little bit of navigating info in case folks haven't been able to either take the survey or get access to the field inspection report that we did last year. Again, my name is Irene Triletis. I work for HDR. I'm a project manager and water resource engineer in the Anchorage office. My colleague Casey and I, who will be here probably mid-meeting. She's flying over from Port Graham. She and I are working with the city on the drainage mapping and stormwater management plan program. Last year, we focused on identifying drainage issues within city limits and concerns. We completed a survey and did mapping for the existing stormwater infrastructure. And that is all summarized in a memo available on the city's website. This year, we are gathering community input on prioritizing the drainage projects to develop a total of 5 conceptual level designs. And those will be included in the stormwater management plan. All of the projects that have been discussed and identified will be included, but these 5 will be the highest priority and be developed to like a 15% design. And that will come with a range of magnitude cost associated with that. So during the meeting, I'll briefly summarize again what we did last year, what we're doing this year, and then we can talk through the 3 projects that the city has already identified as the top priority projects and the 9 projects that are being prioritized to fill in those top 2, or I guess the last 2 for the 5 that will be further sussed out a little bit. So again, in 2023, we did a lot of background data collection. We did a site visit. We mapped the stormwater systems and we put together some reporting and recommendations. This year, we are prioritizing the stormwater capital improvement projects and conducting a public survey. We're working with the city to obtain some LiDAR. And then we will have our stormwater management plan in draft form in November for review. If you have not taken the survey yet, that is available on the website or linked on the website, and it will close the end of next week, so September 6th. We can leave it open longer if necessary. Just let myself or probably Liz know. And all right, so the top 3 projects that have been identified by the city are Vista Avenue drainage, Main Street drainage, and Ketchmark Street drainage. So I will start sharing my screen now and we can take a look at those. So I think Liz maybe was able to send this map series to everyone. I don't,
Yeah, it should be in the work session packet if you look online in the work session laydown.
so this is the same drainage map set that we use to for our field inspection memo. So some of this information is redundant. But the ones that are bubbled in red are the ones that the city has already identified as those top 3 priority projects. And we can walk through those. And then the ones that are pink, as we will see as we kind of flip through these, are the projects that are the 9 other projects that are going to be included in the stormwater management plan, but might not necessarily be in that top 5. So here we have Vista Avenue. There is some drainage issues here that I'm sure everyone is familiar with. I guess I should also clarify that Casey, who will be here later, was the one who did the inspection last year. So I have not seen these sites yet myself, but that is one of the reasons why I am here. So I'll be looking at these over the next 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. So if I misspeak on any details of the drainage issues, please give me a little grace and please feel free to correct me. So here we have Main Street. That is a highlighted priority project. The limits of that are not necessarily the bubble that I have encircled, but that is the general idea. And then Winifred is one of the priority projects. And most of these, unless I specifically identify, will basically be cleaning up existing drainage issues. There are probably 2 projects that are, well, there's the citywide sediment basin plan. That is one of the potential projects, and that one obviously isn't listed here because it encompasses the whole city. And that project will look at where are good locations for sediment basins to let sediment filter out before the water gets to the bay. So that is a project that is not on this map series, but is one of the 9 that we are asking people to rank. Winifred is also one of those, and these Winifred project, as well as a number of other ones, are more general. Like there's existing infrastructure, it might need to be replaced, it might need to be moved, and the intent of those projects will just be to not necessarily be a study as in the sediment basin, but this one would be to identify what the exact issue is and how to fix it. Catchmark Street is another identified priority project. We spoke with the city earlier this year on some existing issues there. And then Slough Bridge and Bay Street are also projects to be ranked. They're potential priority projects. Here we have Winifred again, and then we have Anderson, Shoreline, and Lake Susan. Lake Susan is that would also be more of a study project, not a drainage issues project. So Lake Susan, we had received a number of comments last year on our survey that people were concerned about the water quality in Lake Susan. So that would look into those concerns. And then we have Frank Raby. That is this general area. And then we have water supply road, and we had, as this is mostly just out of city limits, we had not looked at it last year, so we'll be taking a better look at it in the next few days. And this project is also on the potential priority list. So these are the projects, and everyone is welcome to jump in with any questions. And I also just wanted to show folks that here we have the survey, and that is available on, I guess I can't get to. That is available on the website. Stormwater master plan, and you can download our field inspection memo as well as the base map of the map series we were just looking at. And this has a direct link to our survey. Any questions thus far?
Any questions from anyone on council?
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Vivian.
Yeah, if you could clarify or let me know, in the criteria that the city council will be looking at to determine 3 more possible studies, what is that criteria? Is that by HDR? Is that something from the city? Could you explain that a little bit more? And then also what the public input would be as far as prioritizing?
Sure. My understanding of what that process will look like is the city already identified and the top 3. And so there are 2 more. We are prioritizing 5 projects to take to the next phase. And those 2 slots, I guess, are available for public input so that the city can use that information to help guide their decision. It is not necessarily open to the public for ranking, but they'll use this information to determine what they think is in the best interest of the city.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I believe we have 9 people who have participated in the survey thus far. So we've got some good information, some data to work with.
Right. And so I guess I'm not quite getting it exactly. So is the city council looking at criteria when we look at, I know we already chose the 3, but the next 2, is there criteria that we're looking at that's been delivered from HDR to pick the other 2 and what their how we would rank them based on? Is it criteria by HDR that we're looking at? And is there summaries of, I'm sure there is, I can't remember with all of our reading, summaries of what we've chosen for which reasons, and has HDR given any sort of input as far as how they see each one of these projects in ranking?
We have not given any input on prioritization. HDR has not. We have given, I don't know if my screen is sharing anymore.
It is. It's still on the maps.
I'm sharing. I'm going to stop sharing and reshare again so you can see where I am at. There we are. Okay. If you read our field inspection overview that we submitted to the city and is now on the city website, that has a section at the end that talks about our suggested priorities. We did not rank those. I have not been asked for what I feel the priorities should be. I don't live in Seldovia. I think that we could assess and probably give some of those rankings, but we have not done that at this point, and we do not have specific criteria that we gave to the city to identify those top 3 projects.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Vivian. Anyone else? Questions, comments?
Campbell,
Yeah, go ahead, John.
that would be the same as Vivian. That would be the same questions I have is the condition of those other sites, and is it something that we can improve by just unplugging existing structures, you know, and tubes, and or is it going to need complete redevelopment, you know? And I think that's what it'd be more beneficial to all of us to be able to make that decision is, you know, where we at with each one of those drainages, you know, and how bad some of them are compared to others.
And that, sorry, I did not mean to.
John.
John, that will be part of the stormwater management plan. We'll have more time to go into the details of some of these probably could be regraded, or the manhole or field inlet could be dropped to actually be at the lowest point. But I think we didn't have enough information, and we didn't have LiDAR at that point. And we will hopefully be getting that next month through eTerra, and I believe the Seldovia tribe is working with eTerra to help get that for us.
That's all I have here.
All right, thanks, John. And then the purpose of the next few days is, you guys are just going to hit a little more in detail, or just get another set of eyes on some of these and just gather some supplemental information?
Yes, some of the information that we had when we were building the field inspection, like the as-built, we didn't get until after we had done the field effort itself. So now we have a little bit more information. We've been able to digest some of it, and we have a general idea of what the potential priorities are. We're gonna go look at each one of these and do a little bit more in-depth investigation. And as I said, Water Supply Road, for example, is one that we did not get any information on last year. So we'll be going out there probably first thing tomorrow.
Perfect. All right.
And if there are any suggestions, happy to hear them on places that we should go to for any of these specific priority projects, or if there's anything that is not on our list that people feel like is an area of concern. Happy to take a look at that and include it in the management plan. It might not make it to if it's not on the priority list, it will not make it to the 5 that we will be investigating, but we can still include things in the plan.
So on the 5, just so I understood you correctly, on the 5 that you come up with, the 3 would be the Main Street, Kachemak, and Vista Avenue that the city's identified, and then 2 more that you guys are going to continue to, well, kind of everyone, there'll be a little bit of public process, more city input, and then I guess you guys would also give some additional input. And then when you develop your ROMs, you guys just do that through engineer in-house with your estimators, your engineers in-house?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll have access to some numbers from recent projects in Homer, and then we'll probably work with Heidi and Jan and Liz to get some, if there have been recent projects in Seldovia that have better numbers to give us those more dialed in costs. We would be happy to use that.
Okay, yeah, as you guys well know, I mean, all of the funding that we've come up with, managed to secure through state and federal sources, by the time, we've been able to get it, and then we're relying on estimates that are, well outdated with what's happened in the last, 3 to 5 years here, specifically in the last 3 years with construction prices just going through the roof on everything. We've had to go back and request supplemental funding on all of our projects. So yeah, I'm sure you guys are seeing that in the private sector and all the the work that you guys do for all of your other projects as well.
Yeah, we just got bids back for a project in Girdwood that were significantly more than our engineer's estimate, and that's on the road system just out of town. So I can imagine that it is even more of a gap down here.
Yeah, for some reason, there's just seems to still be a gap with, engineers' estimates statewide, whether it's a, vertical project, civil project, DOT, core, it doesn't matter. It just seems like they're all coming in light compared to the costs that have, the escalated costs that contractors are incurring now to do the work. So, but all right, yeah, no, sounds like lots of good information still to come, and then obviously it's a lengthy process to get one of these projects across the finish line.
Yeah, a lot of work and lots of really interesting work, I would say. I am excited to be here. This is my first time in Seldovia, so I am thrilled to be a part of the project, and glad to also get some eyes on the ground for me personally. Casey's been here.
Good. It sounds like you're going to get a little bit of nautical weather perhaps here in the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Okay. Did you have additional items to cover, or was that pretty much it for today?
That was pretty much it for today. I wanted to see if folks had any questions, concerns. I appreciate the questions on prioritization, and if there's anything else you'd like me to walk through. I have like our digital version of this map with all of our culverts and inverts outlined. If there's anything folks wanted to look at specifically.
Okay. Anything come to mind? Anyone on council?
Actually, Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yeah, go ahead, Vivian.
since how she's moving the cursor around Bay Street, could you tell me what the reasons why Bay Street is on there? I could probably read the piece of paper that you have in this document, but what was the concerns with Bay Street and identifying it?
We can look that up right now because I do not recall off the top of my head. Sorry for scrolling.
That's fine.
Yeah, the report's big. I'm looking as well to try
Yep.
to find that.
And so within this report, you guys have laid it out really well, what the issues are, what's been reported, what you identified. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, it takes a lot of referencing back with the field maps, but you'll see here, we talk about each of our, so like P1 is pipe 1 for the system, and then we have structures as well, and then we have numbers noting where there was specific drainage points of concern. So we have, might be worth printing out the maps just to have those sitting next to you as you go through this guy. And I am going to, let's see. I think, okay, so it looks like Bay Street, the major concern was, perhaps either the, field inlets are not in the right position or are, too small and are getting flooded.
Hmm.
The discussion or the point was that the area of imperviousness has been increased. So there is either there's ponding at the field inlets or in the Bay Street area.
Hmm.
And it looks like that has impacted the boardwalk.
Okay, yep, thank you.
Mayor Campbell.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I see there's a number of streets and I'm not familiar enough to know, but there's a number of streets that are not even listed in this group. You know, the 10 that we had listed here, there's Fillmore Street, Alder Street, Ileana, Spruce, and Inlet. That Inlet Street is off over there behind the church, and isn't there a drain in there they've had a lot of trouble with? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, John, who's that for?
Inlet Street is in there behind, it's over there by Seldovia Fishing Adventures and.
Right.
and
I think that's a sewage pipe that they've had issues with, not actually a
there's
drainage pipe.
no stormwater drain in there. Does anybody know?
I don't know if there's stormwater over there or not. I know they had water, there was water problems and sewer problems both over there, I believe.
Right, but I guess that's what I'm getting at, not just this street, but have all of the stormwater drains been looked at? You know, are they just included in these 10 that we have, or are there more that are not included, is what I'm wondering.
Yes, there are more that are not included. And I should have pointed out that on this map, in the map booklet that you have, there are quite a few storm drain systems that were not included. They were either adequate or not pointed out to be a priority.
Function.
Yeah, Fulmore being one of them,
Okay.
and Peninsula Street as on the sheet that we're looking at. And if you look at the sheet set, there should be a list of the systems on the bottom of the sheet here. And that way you can identify which ones we're looking at, because they're all using acronyms. So we are looking, PEN is Peninsula. Bay Street doesn't have any, which might be another reason I earlier said that it may have been an issue of a field inlet, but there are no field inlets on Bay Street. And so that could potentially be why there is a ponding problem, because there's no system there.
Yeah, at that intersection right there, on Peninsula Street there where you've got that, yep, right there, that to the south side of that, out in front of the pavilion, that's a huge mess right there when the water, there's no collector on any of that. That's a big mess, and that's probably going to require a fair amount of work. If it starts raining, you'll get to see that here the next day or so.
Excellent.
Yeah, it'll be standing water in there, yeah. I just was looking at, you know, I don't think we should be overlooking any of this as big as this project is, that's all.
Harmony, did you have something?
Sure, I was gonna say what you just said about that corner there that gets the standing water year round, especially in the the big rainy seasons, it becomes a big mess. And as somebody who walks every day and has kids riding their bikes every day, it's quite the issue. But also over on Shoreline, I think it's Young Street there towards the Wylands place, like right below Fi's house, there was an exposed culvert there for a couple of years. And I feel like there's a couple of years there where, again, it was exposed and it had gotten torn by equipment, and then it was just getting like congested with rocks and gravel and other detritus. And I was just wondering if that had been addressed, if that was on your radar, if we know what that looks like. I know that again, that's not quite at the base of a hill, but it creates a nice ice sheet there in the winter and spring when there's no outflow there.
Are you talking about on Block Street?
Is it Block Street? Is that the name of it? There, yeah, it's like along Shoreline, right there where Block Street and Shoreline come together. There was an exposed culvert that had gotten torn into by equipment, and it was just kind of like getting filled with whatever was coming off the road for a couple years.
Yeah, it's just to the right where you had your cursor up there where you were circling that. Yeah, go to your right.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So there's
Harmony kind of right more in line with the intersection there.
Yeah.
You can see her cursor where she's got it at right there.
Yep. So that's something that you guys already have. I am been remiss. I have not looked at this packet. It's been a really busy couple of weeks for me on my end. And while we're talking about this, I wanted to make sure that we earmarked that place and we're being aware of that.
That is something that Casey and I can go look at tomorrow. So this shows where we found all of the culverts and field inlets. So this purple is where we found, or our team found a culvert, or where a culvert was identified in as-built. So if there's another one that it had existed at one point but has been buried, we are happy to try to dig it out, and just so that we know it's there, or we can note that it's here. Shoreline, as you can see, is a pink bubbled project, so it's on the potential list of priorities, and that could absolutely be investigated further if we were to prioritize that one.
I could do a little homework for you. I could look at what you've got more thoroughly and then reach out to the people that live there. I know that they were aware of that, and see if they are aware that any repair work had been done on that, or what it looked like this last winter. Then that way it might give you a little bit more a more educated guess on what needs to happen there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Harmony. Yeah, I'm sure if you guys are out walking around and some folks see you, I'm sure they'll most folks will be willing to offer information if they know what you guys are doing and poking around. So
Perfect.
all right, anyone on council, or we can go to the public. I see we do have one public member in the audience, and then Liz, not sure if anyone online is signed up or wishes to speak.
Yeah, we don't have anybody signed up online, but we do have Randy here in the audience.
Okay, great.
Hi, this is Randy Sweet for the record. And I had a question about if there was any kind of articulation or coordination between the stormwater management projects and safe streets projects.
Not as far as I'm aware. I don't know if Heidi and Jan have been coordinating that.
Okay, but there isn't any sort of, there's not, like, from a strategic standpoint, that's not a partnership or a relationship that exists between those two types of projects.
There's a portion in the management plan where we will do some research on potential grants and other programs that could be utilized. And that is a great program to include. But it has not been on my radar currently. So I'll add that for sure.
Okay, and I think we've also been in a feedback cycle on Safe Street projects, so there might be some great synergy with that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up too, Randy. Yeah, because we are slated to get fair amount of dollars for our safe streets for some new topping. And yeah, it'd be obviously before we went through with some of that, once, you know, taking this into consideration, if there's going to be, you know, some of these that are going to require, you know, a bunch of shoulder work or a number of culvert replacements and stuff, you know, depending on how extensive that is.
Yeah, may I ask who is leading that Safe Streets project or program?
Usually Heidi and Liz.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can get you some more information on it. They have a steering committee and it's through the Kenai Peninsula Borough, and Seldovia is included in that.
Awesome. All right. Nobody else, Liz, in the audience or online?
No, Mr. Mayor, that's it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, last opportunity for council. Any final comments, questions tonight for Irene? All right, well, we appreciate you coming in, and yeah, it sounds like you've got another day or two in town. Good luck with the remaining work you guys have. Yeah, and then we'll just look forward to continuing on the process and getting the rest of the information and the final all the final reports and draft reports and everything we need to for everyone to make the final decisions and identify the final priorities, and then, you know, start looking at the funding where we can get funding at to start getting some of these things fixed.
Wonderful. Thank you for everyone's time, and I'll probably see you around in the next couple days.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks again.
Yeah.
And if Mr. Mayor, if I could put in one more plug for people to go to the homepage and look at the survey and fill it out. And if we know people who are interested in the projects and having their input, that survey is open till, is it September 6th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so another just a little under 2 weeks then. All right, fantastic. Yep, and I see it all there listed on the homepage along with this report. It's there as well. So easy to access all this information. So all right, well, sounds good. We got about 15 minutes before the regular council meeting starts. So we'll go ahead and adjourn the work session. And then do we have to come in on a new link, Liz, or are we good to just stay on?
We can stay on this link.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll go ahead and adjourn the work session and see you back in 15 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, bye.